My name's Melissa. I'm a cancer survivor. I'll be 50 in January. I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer in September of 2018. I had my mammogram, and my breast cancer was not found on my mammogram. I found it with an ultrasound afterwards. I was an advocate for myself and went and sought other treatment after, because I was having pain. That's the biggest thing, is if you're having pain, don't ignore it. Go get your mammogram, and if you still feel like there's something wrong, be an advocate for yourself, follow up. I had a 3.2 centimeter tumor at that time, and my oncologist later was very clear with me that had I not been persistent and been my own advocate and followed through, I wouldn't be here today, because it was a very fast-growing tumor. And what I tell all the girls that I go and talk to now is I wasn't doing self-breast exams anymore. The night before the ultrasound, I was laying down on the bed. I got down the shower and I was just laid flat on the bed like, oh God, out of the shower. Was dreading the ultrasound the next day. And I took my hand and I ran my hand down underneath my breast, and I went, wait a minute, and I felt the lump. So I went in the bathroom and lifted my breast up and saw the skin puckered in. They did the biopsy that day that I was there, and I was supposed to come back the following week for my results. The next day I get a call from the breast cancer navigator, and it's, hey Melissa, this is Pat. Can you come up to my office today and bring your husband? So we went up, and it was just a blur, because for me to have had my mammogram on September 18th and October 5th, I got a port placed for chemotherapy. October 14th, we got married. We moved our wedding up because Plastics Omnium has much better health insurance than the hospital does, and I'm very grateful for that. October 18th would be my first chemo treatment. I had 4 treatments of what they call AC and Red Devil. Those are the hard ones. They're once every 2 weeks. After that, we did 16 Taxol treatments, and I lost my hair by the 2nd week. And when you lose your hair from chemo, you lose all your hair. I lost my eyebrows, my eyelashes, my arm hair. After that, I had a bilateral mastectomy in March of 2019, and I chose to stay flat. That was a decision that I made for myself. The breast MRI that you have done when they find a tumor is not a very pleasant test, and I did not want to have MRIs every 6 months because I had implants, so I chose to stay flat. As a survivor, which I can actually say that word now, I hated when people say, you're a fight, you're a warrior. What choice did you have? I mean, you didn't ask to be here, but you had to do it. All those sayings that they had, fight, the only one I really liked was hope and faith over fear. Because if you let the fear get to you, then that's all you sit there and think about. But I had my village, which was good, because between Greg and I, we have 4 kids. He had 2 when we got married, and I had 2. So our teenagers got to be little moms and help out in the house. They went grocery shopping. My 18-year-old was the legal adult, but the 14-year-olds were the responsible adults. They took the credit card, did grocery shopping. Greg worked the whole time. I was very fortunate. I was able to work from home 2 days a week already, so my job was very understanding. I was able to flex my time. I had tons of support. My instructions were to point and grunt. They didn't let me do anything. They made me not strain myself at all. Looking back now, after all of that, the time has just flown by. And it's like, my last visit in January of my oncologist was like, you don't have to come back. He's like, we can see you every 6 months or every year if you want to, but after September, you're at your 5-year mark. You don't have to come back. Which for triple negative breast cancer, the 3-year mark was the really good day. If you make it to 3 years, you're usually golden, but it's always in the back of your mind, and think about it forever. But knowing what I know now, I do my chest wall exams and I make sure I don't feel anything on my chest wall. And I jokingly tell my girlfriends, know your girls, love your girls, feel them all the time, because you're the one that's going to notice something different about your body. And be an advocate for yourself. Have those mammograms. Mammograms are part of the wellness of every commercial insurance policy. It's part of Women's Health Act. You can get your free mammogram. You know, if you've got a family history, you can start getting them at 35. Get your mammograms. We are in upstate of South Carolina very fortunate to have the ultrasound truck that goes around. So if you're questioning it and you don't have a medical home that you see a doctor regularly, go to the ultrasound truck, get your ultrasound. It's not worth dying for the time that it takes, and it's also not worth, you know, people are like, well, I can't afford treatment even if it happens. There are things out there, people will help you, there's Cancer Association, all kinds of stuff. The biggest thing is advocate for yourself, because if I hadn't gone back and asked the questions, I wouldn't be sitting here today. My tumor was measured 2.9 with the ultrasound, but by the MRI, it wasn't even a week later, I was already up to 3.2. It had decreased after the chemo down to being less than 1 centimeter, but by surgery, it was already back to 1.8. So very fast growing. I mean, you're talking about weeks, and we're centimeters, not millimeters. And that is something that I wasn't doing breast exams. I didn't feel it. I should have been able to feel that. So that's why know your girls, love them, do your self-breast exams, get your mammograms. I am a cancer survivor. I'm living life to the fullest now, and my surviving cancer gift was a Harley Davidson, and went from chemotherapy to wind therapy, and I do enjoy the freedom that I get and enjoy every day. And being a cancer survivor has made me not focus on the small stuff anymore. I am just living.